Cooking with the vegan zombie.
Ted?
Hey, Chris.
Is this your place?
Yeah, this is our kitchen.
This is a nice kitchen.
Thanks.
Hey man, I've been running for like what seems like 2 days. Zombies everywhere, man.
Wow.
I'm tired, I am hungry. Do you have anything to eat?
Yeah, I'm gonna make some bagels actually.
Oh my god, is there anything you want me to do to help? I'll help you make them. What?
You know what? If you could check the perimeter and make sure that there are no more zombies, do a zombie watch on that.
I can do that. I'll be right back.
We're making some sourdough bagels, so I've got some sourdough starter, and basically it's sourdough starter, a little bit of sugar, flour, and water. That's pretty much it. And the real trick is the consistency of the dough. You want it to be tacky, not sticky. So we'll talk about that a little bit later after it needs. So right now I'm just adding the starter. Gonna put some lukewarm water to that. And that's pretty much it, a little bit of sugar. We feed this every day, the sourdough starter. So sourdough starter you can use in replace of yeast for pretty much any recipe. So I've made sourdough pancakes, waffles, bread of course. I use it for my bagels and my pretzels. Basically it's like wild yeast, it's a culture. You feed it by just giving it water and flour. So every day you have to feed it. You end up throwing out most of it if you're not gonna use it. We bring it down to 5 ounces and you do an equal part of flour and water. So 5 ounces of water, 5 ounces of flour, and then you're good to go. And I like to use a mix of whole wheat or spelt flour and then a little bit of all-purpose. If you only use spelt or you only use whole wheat, it gets a little bit too dense when you make a loaf. To the starter, I'm gonna add water. And you add water because, lukewarm water, because you want the starter dispersed as much as possible. So most recipes call for yeast. So this is very similar. It's basically making sure the yeast is active and dispersed, so that's why you add the water. I'm gonna add to that some sugar because bagels have a slight sweetness to them. So this is a double batch, so I'm actually gonna add just about 6 tablespoons. I add the sugar first before the salt because basically too much salt in a mixture can kill off the culture. All right, that was some salt. So mix that all up and then it'll be ready for the flour. I also add a little bit of vital wheat gluten to the dough and that gives it a little bit more stretchiness and helps the dough form. Not necessary, I'd say, but it helps it. The best part about bagels is it is by feel, so you don't have to be as fanatical about measuring it out. So for instance, I know it's gonna be close to 7, maybe 8 cups of flour, but I don't have to like level it as much because honestly, it's all about how it kneads and how it feels afterward. And then it's gonna mix. I'd have to plug it in first. So let that go for a little bit. All right, so the dough is pretty much done. You can tell like it's just slightly tacky. I mean, it sticks to my finger, but I pull away and it's pretty much clean. So that's what you're looking for both bagel and pretzel dough actually. It's pretty much the same. The difference between the two doughs, just in case you were wondering, is that pretzel dough uses brown sugar and bagel dough uses just white sugar. Gonna transfer it to the bowl and it's hard to move because it's a double batch. Kind of gently move that around in the oil. You just wanna keep it moist while it rises. And you don't want it to stick to the bowl. We're gonna cover it and let it rise for about 3 to 4 hours. The longer you let it rise, the more sour it's gonna get, but also the dough starts to get a little bit wetter because it's a sourdough culture, so it kind of feeds off of the flour, and as it feeds off the flour, it gets more and more liquidy. So it gets harder to handle. So it's a kind of fine line between letting it get more sour and also not too sour. And also I do the traditional forming of the bagels, so you'll see that later, but bagel dough, a lot of people just poke a hole in it, but that produces kind of ugly bagels in my opinion. It's not a donut. And so to make the smooth exterior, you're supposed to actually kind of do this massaging motion where you pull dough from the top and tuck it in with your thumbs. And as you pull it from the top, you eventually pull it so thin that it breaks through and it smooths out the entire dough. So right now we're on the boil stage. We've rolled them out and like I was mentioning, it's this technique where you pull from the top but tuck in so it gets smoother, as you can see. Like you want to make sure that they're as smooth as possible to get that kind of characteristic bagelness. Then you boil them for a minute on each side. I'm doing half a pan of just plain and then half a pan of everything. You don't want a rolling boil. It's a very gentle boil, almost like a kind of simmer. Once you let the water evaporate off of it, then you go ahead and bake it at 425 for about 20 minutes until it's nice golden brown. Really, you want to look at the bottom. The bottom has to be a nice brown color, or else it's just too soft inside when you cut it later. Okay, so this is kind of tricky because if you're gonna top it with stuff, whether it's sesames or this everything kind of mix, you wanna make sure they're not sopping wet, but at the same time they can't be dry or else it doesn't stick on. Let's go ahead and put this in for 20 minutes. Yeah, it's at 425 degrees. You need it to be pretty hot because it's gotta cook all the way through, but at the same time get that nice exterior, that nice crust. So the bagels are almost done. I'm actually rotating them because you can see like some of these are not 100% done, and so it's a lot easier to kind of rotate them and then keep them cooking. They're almost there. The final way to check is actually check the bottom, and you can see it's a nice brown. It can be just a tiny bit more. So I'd give it 2 more minutes. All right, they're done. Look at that, beautiful golden brown. You know, they smell incredible. If you could smell these now, you'd smell like a nice sourdough, like we're in a bakery. And they got really puffy. You can tell this is the kind of bottom you're looking for. And now it's just letting them sit for 30 minutes, and then we'll be able to slice it. You slice it too soon, and it kind of falls apart, just like hot bread. So you let it cool off for about 30 minutes.
No zombies, we're good.
Great. The bagels are done.
These look delicious. They're done, they're cooled off. There's only one thing left to do, right?
Yeah, let's slice and eat them. So we have some plain bagels with cream cheese, and we have some everything bagels with the scallion cream cheese.
Vegan cream cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god. Okay, so the everything bagel with the chive. Oh god. I'll take some of these with me. I'm gonna head to the next town. I gotta see Vince. These bagels are so good. Thanks for watching. Like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe. Stay safe, watch out for zombies, and follow Ted on his social media, his YouTube channel. Details below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Everything bagel with chive cream cheese. Is that your zombie alert?
I think it's just the timer.
Oh.